Hey guys, I'm right now making this video. The video might be boring, but I'm gonna try to make it something. But if you go watch my last video that I filmed, it's entitled like something like I'm doing the summer worldwide or something. I forget what it's. Actually, now that I think, I may not have titled that video, or I don't know. But I filmed a video talking about the worldwide. Because they are doing a summer one this time. Dropped this on my foot, and it actually kind of hurt. It's fine, I'm over it. But in that video that I said I didn't really know like how long we had it. Because my dad had said something about like 5 weeks, and then some, like it was a mixture of like I didn't know, but I found out, and it's 5 weeks, so 1 month, of summer worldwide, and this, I actually like this idea. And the only thing that I do have to say about it is that I don't really like too much is that this time is 1 month. It's 1 month. Last time, it was 3 months. And it was all spring, like April 1st all the way up to like the last one was like this last Wednesday. And my annoying thing about it is that it's the same price. Like literally last time we paid $299. For our April, for April, May, and June. So 3 months, spring. This time, we paid $299 for a month. And not even like, at this point I went like, we literally have it until, I checked on the thing, we have it until like, check up here. What is the next line? We have until August 15th. So a little bit over a month, I would say, like 2 days over, because it starts on the 11th of this month. Which worked out perfectly, because at first I wasn't sure, but it seemed like maybe it was starting on the 10th, and I went, that might be sad for Sam, because like it's his birthday on the 10th, but it doesn't start till the next day, so that's exciting. And so like for me, one thing that I am very annoyed about, well, there's a lot. First up, I'm going to talk about what I'm annoyed about. Then I'm going to talk about all the great things from this, and also some just other stuff. Like the thing that I'm annoyed about is we have that same teacher. Like it drives me mad because we have this one teacher. I don't have anything against him personally, like as a person and a human being. And from what I'm seeing, he's nice. It's just that when it comes down to teaching and stuff, I'm iffy because I don't want to talk bad about her studio. Like the Abby Lee Dance Company, amazing and like really good. And it doesn't seem like he has an issue like teaching, because he's really good at teaching the in-person people. Like he shows us, and like the people in person, he corrects them. They get like what they need to get in person. But I'm like, why can't you do that to the people on Zoom? Because we're just as important. Like literally right now, I'm really happy. I posted a poll a while ago on my Instagram story asking if I gave them a scenario, and the poll was asking if I take class on Zoom, with the Abby Lee, something about if I take class on Zoom, and that's the only class, only dance, studio type thing that I do, only dance training in a dance class, and is it technically considered, or can I technically call it my studio? Because I'm confused on that, because I feel like you should, but at the same time I'm because I'm on Zoom and it's not something that when they stop doing the Zoom stuff, which at this point it doesn't look like it will be very soon, so I'm excited about that. I'm not going in person because we don't I'll tell you, we don't live in Pittsburgh or LA. You probably get that, because if we lived in Pittsburgh or LA, I would be going to the Abby Lee Dance Company in person, and so you probably guessed that already. Yeah, I will say in America, but I'm not giving you any details. I wouldn't do that. It's for safety reasons and stuff. Even though I'm sure a lot of you out there are pretty nice and incredible, but at the same time, safety reasons, and I wouldn't do that. Literally the only people that ever get my location is family members. Generally family members or people that, my parents personally give them. Sometimes friends and stuff. When I know them, in person, friends. Because some of my friends from my sister's neighborhood, which I think I know what I want to do for my birthday. The only thing is, I still have to, it's an iffy thing, and find out kind of from my sister and stuff eventually, which is I want to, kind of just see some of them again, because there's one of them that I was really getting to know really well. I really enjoyed knowing and stuff, and then a bunch of stuff happened, but and no, nothing really happened, and it was just that we moved, so that happened. That was stuff didn't happen, but I think I want to see her again, because she was a really great friend, and I really like her. Plus, my sister does have her mom's phone number and stuff, so it can work out, I think. Yeah, so at this point, I think that's what I want to do for my 16th birthday, and go hang out with a younger kid, and not in a bad way. I'm saying I get weird because I never go towards teenagers. I feel it's very rare for me to go towards teenagers and make friends with teenagers. I feel most of the time I feel the only person that I know of as of right now that I'm friends with. And then someone else I know, I think we're kind of friends, but I don't know. I generally don't know, because I never had a conversation with them person, and I'm gonna tell you which is my crush and my crush's twin brother. Or I think me and his twin brother are on okay, we might be slightly friends sort of terms, but I don't know. Maybe one day in the future we'll find out. and then my crush. But other than that, like, there's not really any teenagers that I know that I go toward. I usually go for people younger than me as like my friend group and stuff. Actually, there might be one person in from dance. I'm gonna have to, when I'm done, like, I'm gonna check their Instagram to see, gives me an age. But even then, I feel like they're a little younger. I don't know. But anyway, like, this one teacher, he kind of, like, he does good at the teaching and stuff, and I feel like it's just that sometimes I wish, like, the only complaint that I really have about him is that he kind of, well, there's three little complaints. First up, he sometimes, like, he doesn't look at the screen. Like, I feel like he never looks at the screen on Zoom, and I feel like that's really sad because I'm the type where I like working really hard, and I like to kind of know that I'm doing good or know that I'm doing bad. Like, I always been the type where I do celebrate sometimes whenever I have a win or a success, like becoming an Abby Lee Miller favorite. Yes, I celebrate it. I enjoy it, but at the same time, I don't try to be braggy about it and rub it in people's faces because because I know that there's a lot of people out there who want it that, and I got lucky and got it. You know, like, so I never try to be braggy on anything. On the channel, I really, like, even, and I'm now realizing something, and like, actually this isn't too much of like a bragging, and like, right after I got my right side splits, I'm about to try my left side again, quick. That's, I feel like it kind of counts, but not really, like, not, like, because, like, I didn't fully get into a split, but I got super, super, super close. But I feel like right after I got my right splits and my right side over splits, I kept posting photos on Instagram, like the same photo, because of like a celebration thing, because that's something that I've been dreaming of for 5 years now. I've been wanting to do something like that since I started dancing. And like be able to see some sort of flexibility improvement and do all the really cool things. And it just felt like it was never gonna happen. And like I was actually starting to get really down about it at one point. Like there was a point where like after I want to say had done social media for like around 8 months at the time. Well, no. Actually, it was a little bit over a year. Like a year and let me see, do that. I want to say like a year and like 4 or 5 months. Because this month my 2 years on social media, celebration or like anniversary thing is coming up. I will be celebrating. Because that's the sort of thing where I'm like, if it's an anniversary or something like that, celebrate it to the fullest if you want, like that situation. But like, because I know that anyone can do social media, like, you just have to put the work in and stuff. And like with my splits, I kept posting about with celebration. Because like I want to say like a year and like 4.5, maybe 5 months I got to a point where I was, like, I'm doing social media, where I was getting really down about, like, cause I wasn't, like, I kept working on my splits, and it just didn't seem like it was getting anywhere at some point in there. I think is when I started working on over splits. I don't remember if it was right after or around that, like, but I started getting really down about it because but like in the sense that like it seemed like I just kept working on it and it wasn't getting anywhere, and on top of that, like going through like I was getting to a point where like it felt like I was almost maybe never gonna see my crush again, and now there's like hope. But the downside to it, well, there's not really a downside. At first, I was worried because dance does interrupt, like going to the Autism Society, which is my only chance to find my crush right now, and maybe some of my old music class friends. But then again, I was never really friends with anyone there. But like I knew some of the, like I got to know some of the people like that I was never like massive friends or anything like that, because me being in like my shy bubble, because when I was little, I was really, really shy. Like really shy to the point where I remember my first music in class. I walked in like terrified. Like I was really shy, and like I ended up like sitting next to the teacher and stuff. Like, and I didn't talk, and like it wasn't until like I want to say like I eventually I talked to one person that day, but like for the most part, it wasn't for like a really long time. Like before they really got to hear me talk, and even then, and it never got to where like eventually it got to where the teacher did, but no one else really did, and it was a thing. And so like it got to where it just kind of was in a moment to where like I it just felt like I was never gonna see my crush again, and so like I but then eventually I started seeing improvement, and that kind of helped me out a little bit on that section. But I got really braggy about it, and in that case, I feel like that I wasn't being braggy, I was just really celebrating it, because it wasn't the sort of thing where like, oh, not everyone can. It was the sort of thing where if you work hard at it, like 99% of people, or like, or a big majority of people can do it. They can get their splits. And so like that was just something that like it was happy and I was celebrating, but I always try not to be braggy when it's something like that. And even my mom had to talk to with me about earlier, like about how every once in a while I bring up to them like, oh, like it's cool being an Abby favorite, like something like that. And she, like, you never want to like be braggy about that and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not on it, just that they understand that now. She understands that I don't ever try to be braggy. Yes, I celebrate it once in a while. I should, like, but I'm like, I should celebrate it once in a while. but I never get super braggy, because even though, like, because I never want to make people jealous or hate me because that person can only be braggy. She won't, like, hold back even a little bit. And I don't want people thinking of me that way, in a negative way. But yeah, that one thing that I am really excited about, well, a few things about this time is we definitely get more Abby. Like last time, we basically, like, Abby was never part of the actual scheduling. Only because last time they eventually added to where, like, you had access to the Sunday class. But, like, this time, like, the acro and the Sunday class are actually on the schedule, and also this time, they did add something else that is, like, gymnastics or, like, tumbling or something with Abby. And another thing that I'm really excited about is that we have a TikTok class. Meaning you guys are finally going to get more TikToks, because I never post on TikTok because I can never figure out the trendy cool TikTok dance things. And like I looked up a video of like TikTok dances, and I tried to learn one, but even then I was like, it was a mess. But now so like, yeah, it was interesting, and like for me, I'm really excited because now there's a class for it, and that was something that I'm really excited about because last time when Abby did the first worldwide, she talked about like different class schedules and stuff, and she was like, oh, there's a TikTok class, and she was talking about it, and I'm like I was really looking forward to it, and then they took it out of the schedule. Also, I feel like, I mean, we are giving up ballet for that, but like I'm actually fine with that because ballet has never been my most favorite thing. Like I'm saying, I would rather be dancing and doing ballet versus not dancing, but at the same time, ballet's not my favorite. It's actually my second to least. It's my second least favorite. My least favorite is tap. And the reasoning is because I never can. I don't know that because I don't have tap shoes. I don't have tap shoes, but I like whenever we have tap class, I don't use tap shoes. I use Laducas, which are dance high heels, because that way I get somewhat of a noise. It's kind of similar to a tap shoe, but there's no metal, so you're not getting the exact sound, but you are getting a little bit of a sound. And it does mean I will need the mat out because I did. Like, yeah, so I'm gonna see if we can, in a way, I'm mixed feelings because I feel like on the one hand I kind of am hoping that I kind of with the acro and stuff. I feel like Friday class I want to kind of I'm gonna talk to my mom and see if I can end up doing the Friday class back here kind of because but for the reasoning of two things. First up, well, no, I guess we're just gonna stick in Monday. The reasoning that I'm like iffy is because doing tap on carpet, like, that doesn't really work in my opinion. And like, I am kind of annoyed about one thing. I was really hoping that like they would maybe take the guy out and like put Angela there because for multiple reasons. Kind of just that he's not good. Like the in-person people, he's really good, but the Zoom people, oh, I don't ever see him looking at the screen, and he never corrects anyone on Zoom. So, like, other than that, like, but with the in-person people, he's really good with. Like, he's correcting them, he's going around the room, like, I'm physically, like, correcting them, like, when he knows they can do something, he, like, physically will correct them when they're doing it wrong. Like whether that's, like, oh, we're working on splits, and, like, we're leaning towards our front leg, and like they're not all the way down, and he's seen them go all the way down before. Like then he'll like use his hand to push them down a little bit or correct them, So like I'm not discrediting him on that. I'm just saying that he needs to work on his Zoom stuff, and like I consider, oh wait, there are people on Zoom too taking my class. Then yeah, so that's interesting. And then on top of it, I was hoping for Angela, and the reasoning is it's nothing up against the guy. Nothing up against him. It's just that Angela is amazing, and Angela's my type of teacher, and I just love Angela. Oh, and I'm always hoping for Angela. Like Angela is amazing, and literally the first time we had her, for those who don't know, Angela is a substitute teacher that they have some. The first time we had her, immediately, like, before we even got started, I immediately just knew in my brain, like, in my heart, I went like, I get a feeling I'm gonna love her. And then after, like, we got going, and I went like, I love is an understatement. She's better than love. Like, she's top of my list. And like, I literally what I do is I always keep like in like a list of teachers and stuff. And like and it's not in my head. Like it's just like it's like dance teacher that I love, like really love and look up to a lot, and like and want to learn from. And this guy, he's kind of lower on the list because he has things to work on, but still, I still really do like him and stuff. And don't think, oh, I have a crush on him situation. It's not that. Like, I like him as a dance teacher. It's just, and I feel like his main thing is that a lot of what he was teaching us in this last one was stuff that I was too advanced for, if that makes sense. A lot of it was stuff that like I'm overall a pretty advanced dancer when it comes to things, and like other than flexibility. And here and there I have my flaws, but for the most part they're easy, like, improvement situations. Like, overall, I'm a pretty advanced dancer. And I feel like a lot of what he was teaching wasn't super advanced stuff. So I feel like I did it, like, the first couple of times and had no issue. But then after that, it kind of got to where I started almost getting bored with it because I'm like, I was being held back instead of like, instead of, like, I'm the type where if I'm not being challenged as a dancer, and we're doing the same old every week, I'm gonna get bored with it, like, but, like, for me, it would kind of just get into where I was never being challenged, and so, like, every time I'm like, wow, just something that I'm really, really good at, like, and I felt like I was almost being held back when I should. But I am a little, like, right now, I'm, like, really excited, but at the same time, I'm, like, slightly, like, I'm trying to just, like, I just really want to, like, I'm not nervous, if that makes sense. It's just that I feel like maybe, like, I'm not nervous. It's just kind of like, I just have the feeling that, like, I'm iffy to do Afro with Abby. Like, I'm not iffy on it, really. It's just kind of this weird feeling of where, like, I'm not nervous. I just kind of feel weird, like, I just don't want to let Abby down, if that makes sense. And I know I won't. I'm just going to go out and do my best. It's just kind of like I'm eager, is what I would say. I'm eager to show Abby I can improve. Because last time she saw me, I was nowhere, I was closer, like, I was somewhat close to my splits, but not, like, crazy close. And now, out to show her, oh, I have my splits, which, actually, I'm going to try them real quick. And I will, but, like, I'm just eager to show her. And I love Angela. She's my type of teacher. I just really love her, and she's at the top of my list, next to Abby and Gianna Martellos. Peace.